Every single thing that we want an answer to can be found within us. And I feel like the world shows us what we need to know, but it doesn't speak in our language. It doesn't speak in English. It speaks in symbols, and it speaks in synchronicities as well. And so every single thing has an up and it has a down. It has the, the angry and the calm. It has the grounding, and then it has the reaching up. It has the protective and the delicate. So every single thing that you have in life has an opposite. So if you're feeling really angry, the way to regulate your emotions isn't just to be like, why are you so angry? It's to actually give yourself the support that it needs. So anger, I think, needs grounded, but it also needs permission to say, right, I'm holding you here. So you're allowed to move, and you're allowed to speak, and you're maybe allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to be angry, and I'm holding you down here so you don't get dangerous or it doesn't go too far. So every single thing that people need, it's coming from within. And I don't think we've been taught that. And so to learn to get to know yourself, to get along with yourself, to listen to your intuition, it's realizing that you have the tools. Sometimes you just don't know what they are. And so I really think that nature and elements are so good at helping yourself know what's going on or how you can help yourself. I love to imagine. And so it's almost like your inner world has this big fantasy world in it as well. And every single thing on the outside world can be inside as well. So when you see a really delicate rose that's opening its petals, you also see thorns. So then you can say, okay, where have I not been opening up? Where have I not been allowing myself to be delicate, to be open, to be sweet? And where have I also not been protecting myself? Where have I been saying, hey, I'm open, come to me, and then opening up to danger? So how can I say, okay, I'm open to things that are for me whilst protective? Because they close at night. They say, okay, I'm closed now. And then they allow themselves to be protected. So every single thing that we do and everything that we're trying to heal, we're not trying to eradicate the things. If you have codependency and you're also looking outside of yourself for validation, the way to get around that isn't to beat yourself up for it, but it is to say, okay, I have protection here that I'm going to call upon. I'm going to set boundaries with myself to say, I know I want to stay open, and I know I want to stay open. I'm going to close up. And when I get anxious, I'm going to connect to the ground. I'm going to connect to this root, this stem, this protective stem, and breathe. And that is what it means to regulate. It's not getting rid of, it's not beating up, it's not shaming. It's allowing, but also pulling back. And so for me, I have been rewilding, pulling back, becoming more self-contained. And that doesn't mean that I'm selfish and that I can't give to others. It means that I can actually give to others through giving to myself. And so when it comes to refinding yourself and being yourself, it isn't a label, it isn't a thing. It's a constant moving thing where you're listening to the energies in your body. When you look to the elements, you can see how they are connected to us too. The fire is our excitement, is our passion. The air is our mind and our ideas, but the mind picks up whatever the other ones gives it. So if there's a lot of emotion, it picks that up and then it kind of swirls it. If there's a lot of ungroundedness, then it picks that up. And that's like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do this. That's the worry. And then it aggravates the fire too. So yeah, the water is our emotions and our creativity and also our sensitivity. It's how we nurture, how we care. It's that kind of voice, that mother. And then the earth is the builder, is the supporter, is the one that grows the things, is the structure, is the routine, is the stability. And if it's not been watered, it's dry and it can't support anything. And so then you're trying to support yourself, trying to build this routine, and then it crumbles. And then everything gets out of control. The mind then starts this hurricane. And it's saying, okay, it's not the mind's fault. It's a combined, holistic effort of saying, okay, first things first, water the earth. So then all those dry bits, they moisten and then they kind of combine together. Maybe feed it, give it the fertilizer, give it the things, give it space. And then that combination can go around the fire, not to dim it, but actually just to support it and say, okay, I'm holding you, you can go up and burn as much as you want, but I'm also going to surround you in a cocoon when it starts to get dangerous. So you're working together with parts of yourself And that is really what it means to be yourself and allow yourself to go with the flow, is checking in every day, okay, how's my fire? How's my excitement? Is there any voices that are stifling it? And how can I support my fire? The ground is supporting the fire to say, I know, am I going to be able to do it? You're going to burn beautifully anyway. Allow yourself to move and dance. You can give yourself the support that you need, maybe not with words, but with support. And that's my visualization. So if you don't understand it, then that's okay, but you can figure out other ways. You could even imagine that you're that flower, you're the rose. You're saying, okay, I'm going to open up today. And when you're feeling scared, you've got that protective thorns to say, I'm here. And if anything comes into our body, into our energy, I will close us up. And that is being yourself and keeping promises to yourself and connecting to yourself. Because self really is just a moving, living, breathing entity in us too, where sometimes we're quiet, sometimes we're loud, sometimes we're curious, sometimes we're like, I've got to focus on this. And all of that is us. And to be us is just to allow ourselves to flow with whatever. And so, yeah, that is what I think is really important for allowing yourself to be yourself, is giving yourself time, being curious, time alone in parts, so that you can journal, so you can check in and say, okay, I want to check in with my inner fire, with my inner water. And whenever my water is getting a little bit too high up, I can say it's okay to flood over, because that feeds the earth. And then the earth feels watered and the earth feels calm. And that is a somatic healing exercise in itself. I have been just working so much on my nervous system, and it is through like an embodiment practice. And so to be myself and feel peace in myself isn't to never feel anger or never feel worry, but I feel it all the time. I'm anxious all the time, but then I notice, I'm like, okay, that earth and that wind are picking up, so I can water or just make space for it and say, okay, you've got a little storm coming, let it out. And so, yeah, that is really what I would suggest if you're trying to get to know yourself, if you're trying to find your center, is it's not a label. It's not one thing that you just need to understand. It is being. So synchronicities. Every day I go on a little walk, I see what I can think of. I see how I feel. I see what different things mean to me. Because people are looking outside of themselves. What does this mean? What does that mean? But to find your center is to say, I know the answers and I'm going to find them myself, even if they don't come immediately. So you could see a ladybird and you could Google, what does a ladybird mean? But you could also say, how does that make me feel? What is the general vibe I'm getting? What are the thoughts that are coming up? Because you're then seeing the way that everything's interacting. Thoughts aren't bad. So many people say like, oh, well, if you're thinking, you can't be intuitive. Your intuition can come through your emotions, it can come through your thoughts, it can come through your body, and it can come through spirit as well. And so to villainize anything is to like, yeah, you just can't really. Like, I think a lot, and that's where I get a lot of my brain power from. And so to become yourself and become balanced, to become centered, isn't to remove parts of yourself, but it is to work. If you're thinking a lot and a lot and a lot, you can notice if you're getting riled up, then you can say, okay, we need a little break. Let's go and do something else. But it's never like, I'm never going to think again. Thinking is bad. But you can use your thoughts to uplift you. You can use your thoughts and say, let's go and look in the mirror and notice all the good things about us. You can use every part of yourself. None of them are bad, and I think they want permission to interact and exist with each other. So yeah, there's like this gratitude with yourself, but also with everything around you, to feel grateful that it is a message for you, but also that you can find gratitude for all the different parts of you, even if they're not serving you. And then that support too, coming from you from all angles, from yourself, inner parts, and also from spirit and from earth and from others. You can get support externally from others too. But a lot of the time it's just bringing you the reflections that you already need and you already have. And then we've got the child's love, which just shows that dynamic. In order to be your inner child and play and have all these things, the inner parent comes through to say, we've brushed our teeth, we've got this routine, and we're going to do this and then that, and then we're going to eat breakfast, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to sit still for a bit. And in order for them both to thrive, they need each other. And so to be yourself isn't to be like, oh, I just need to get my shit together. It's okay. my inner parent has lost joy and play and going with the flow and the sense of like nothing matters, you know, because it's like, well, why are you doing this? Why does everything have to have a why? I'm just doing it. And then the inner child, if she was just on her own and not allowing any of the inner parent, she wouldn't have a structure or a base, and that's when then things would crumble, because she's like, I just want to play, but she can't, because then she's got other things crumbling around her. So yeah. Then we've got stand your ground, which has this tree growing up. Yeah, very symbolic. You're like the body, the trunk, and the leaves, and the branches, and the little fruit that comes with it too, and they all work together to be a healthy like plant, you know. And then we've got you are not alone, an animal kingdom, obviously. So this was just kind of, yeah, saying like, we are here for you, we never left, through all the sadness and loneliness, however you cannot sense us near you, or how much love we are sending you. We are your family, friends, and guides. You never walk alone, we walk right beside you. But even you can visualize yourself as lots of different parts too. When I'm now then like, I want support, I'll find a part of me in there that can support me too. And then when I feel really safe around someone, then I can share it externally. But when I need support and I talk to someone and they're going through something, everyone's human beings with their own enmeshments and their own struggles that a lot of people cannot actually understand or give the support that we require. And that is okay. But we can give ourselves support. We can get support physically from earth, physically from spirit, or physically from people who are willing and able to give us that. So if we're not able to get the support we need, we're not alone, even though we feel it. But we can find parts of ourselves in ourselves that can help us. And so that's been my journey for the past couple of weeks, and I feel like a brand new person. Whenever I start to feel worried and I'm like, oh my God, I've got then another part of me that's going to hold me. And I'm doing these visualizations, and I want to help other people do those visualizations too of, okay, I'm like in gymnastics or like in cheerleading, I'm going to be your base, I'm going to hold you, you can reach up as high as you want, and I've got you. And when you start to feel a bit shaky, I've got my knees, I've got support, you're safe. And then that is then when the movement starts to happen, because it's not, to be myself isn't to not feel fear. It's not to not feel anxiety. It's not to feel worry. It's not to feel like insecure, but it is to give it its balance. So even when I feel like I'm being too grounded, then there'd be a part of me that's saying, you're playing it a little bit too safe. Come on, come with me. And I imagine it as elements. So I could imagine my little earth as this little grumpy, nerdy little guy with glasses. And then my fire's like this, you know, free spirit. And they both need each other sometimes. So what I imagine is grounded implies that it's slow. But also if the ground or the earth combines with fire, then it's like, right, earth, you make us the vessel. You're going to build us a little earth car. Fire, you build the little flames, and then we're going to go shooting off. But it's like fun and safe. And then it's always just about knowing that there's no right or wrong. It's just about going with the flow and the timing. Like sometimes it's good to go really slow and saying, right, fire, I know you want to go fast, but let's have a look and see all the amazing things we can see. And then other times it's like, right, this is kind of boring. We've done this is just routine. Phew. And they're both valid. And I have this like inner voice that's always telling me I'm doing something wrong, or I'm going to get in trouble, or I'm late, or I'm this, and I'm not doing that right. And I think there's just so much freedom in saying like, there's no perfect way to live. There's no one monitoring me, even though people will say, oh, well, you know, someone's watching you and they're but I feel like those are also just to kind of keep people down. And so to actually allow yourself to thrive is to realize I'm safe to be myself. And if anyone has an issue, I can set boundaries. And yeah, it's allowing yourself to be you and the complete you, not the perfect polished version of saying, okay, in order to accept myself, I just need to become this, and this. Or you can accept yourself right now, knowing that you can make changes there if that's what's best. But sometimes the healing and the changes that people want to do are actually just eradicating the parts that are hurt and didn't fit in. And it's saying, you don't need to change that. That's not healing. You don't need to eradicate that to heal and be good enough. You already are. And so what I'm going to be doing is I think I want to do more like almost not just women's circles, but that idea, element circles, I might call it, where I offer a space on YouTube, kind of like when people just go and watch yoga videos, to actually question and heal and analyze and go deeper into the elements. And I can do Reiki at the same time. And whatever I see that day, maybe it is the yin and yang between a flower and its thorns, or maybe it's the bee and the tick or something. Like, I'll see what the synchronicities are in nature and then offer that as a space for self-discovery. So more self-discovery, I guess, sessions where we can then all do our own thing. It's kind of like body doubling, where the intention is to get to know yourself. So we can meditate, I can send Reiki, we can play music, and then we can also journal and ask each other prompts. Now, this isn't going to be a live thing, so you can also just put prompts in the comments if you want for other people to see, and that would be really cool. So yeah, I feel like elements are a guide for us to go within. Nature itself is a guide for us to go in. Other people's energy is a guide for us to look within. Everything is almost material for us to get to know ourselves a little bit better. So that is maybe your invitation, that to have like maybe 10 minutes where either when you're walking or when you feel called to, there's no right or wrong. You just say, I'm going to see what I notice. Maybe you notice the river in a different way, or you notice the different ways that the river flows. Or maybe you notice that everybody's walking down with their face like this. Or maybe you notice certain themes and you say, okay, I'm going to have a think about what that is guiding me to actually do. And that is really cool. So that is it from me today.